Hi, this is Ian Tracey. You're watching the 24 Hours podcast.
T-minus 4, 3, 2, 1.
Following is a 24 Hours podcast.
Ian Tracey on the set of Intelligence, the new CBC drama, and very high praise from Chris Haddock. He said he was looking for a starring vehicle for Ian Tracey. That's got to be a really good feeling to know.
Oh, it's a great feeling. We had such a beautiful collaboration with everybody on DaVinci's Inquest, and over the years, you know, it ran 8 seasons for us. So Chris and I had a chance to get to know each other pretty well, and we have similar sensibilities about the production of things, I guess, and it was a very good fit. So when he started talking to me about that, about looking for an idea for me, I was, elated, to say the least. And now that it's actually come to fruition, I'm very happy. It seems to be going along very well.
Well, the combination of Tracey and Haddock was lightning in a bottle first time out of the gate. You figure you could recapture that, because this is a different style of show than DaVinci's Inquest.
Yeah, definitely. And well, it's a different workload for me too. It's DaVinci's I had a lot to do, but the story was all over the place with a lot of, the ensemble was quite large, and with that type of procedure, starting with the coroner's office, it could go off in many branches, through homicide or through vice or through robbery, all these different branches. And now we specifically have one law enforcement procedure going on, which is basically espionage, or surveillance, and long-term tracking of heavier criminals through CSIS and the Organized Crime Unit. And then the other part of the ensemble are the criminals, who are now regular characters rather than appearing and disappearing in something like DaVinci's Inquest. Now we see the criminals as a family unit somewhat, although not related.
Now, the last time, of course, we saw you in DaVinci's Inquest, you were on the good side of the law. This time on the show, you're on the other side of the tracks.
Yeah.
You've been hanging out with scumbags to try and get the routine down?
Well, no, but we've all run into various types of criminal element in our lives, and as much research as we can do through stories we've all read, or through, there's no shortage of news items to keep us appraised of the criminal activity around us. And, beyond that, working the law enforcement side of it gave me a chance to work with all types of people playing criminal element of one type or another. And beyond that, it's acting, it's a lot of imagination. I just have to imagine, if I had grown up in that lifestyle, and which started off with rum running in the grandfather's age, and it escalated, and money came in, and they started building some other industries, shipping, fishing, lumber, things like that. Our father unfortunately got involved with smuggling heroin and got popped, and got this really darker element into the family, which is now trying to be removed by us. I have a kind of a wild brother I got to keep in check all the time. He's maybe more of a chip off the old man's block than I am, playing Jimmy Reardon. And the intention now is to gather this wealth and remove the criminal activity and become legit. So this is a long-term process. It could take some time, as much as you keep trying to get out. People don't want you to quit. It's the cliche yet so true. There's a lot of people relying on you, and a lot of people you're still trying to evade for a long time. It's a hard thing to leave.
Now, according to the synopsis, you've struck a deal with the devil, so you're sort of an informant for the other side. Is that the nature of Intelligence?
Well, that is the longing of Mary Spalding's character, is to land Jimmy Reardon as a major informant, because he's so connected on a high level. I mean, even the legit industries are pulling in a lot of money. These people, they're wealthy and trying to stay under the radar, but they are connected to a lot of people who are running contraband of one kind or another, be it arms or narcotics. The connections are far and deep, so she believes that he'd be a major asset to them. But at the same time, Jimmy Reardon, I don't think the last thing a criminal like that wants to do is to get into bed with the law. But at the same time, if they got your arm behind your back, maybe you can feed them things that they kind of already know and escape the whole issue of becoming an informant, for real. But at the same time, kind of keep the family protected and stay out of the scope of the law, as long as they think we're giving them information, they're going to leave us alone. So it's a fine line to walk there. Although business is business, and amongst criminals, if there's a competition, if people are, however you deal with the competition, I think all is fair in love and war, especially in the world of crime.
When you're presented a story and when you're presented a new character, I mean, how much backstory are you given? I mean, is Jimmy Reardon completely fleshed out, or is it something that will evolve as the show goes on?
Well, I'd say all of the characters who are central have been fleshed out to the point where we know their background, we know where they come from and who they're connected to, and sort of where they're going. That's what we know less of, is where they're going. Jimmy Reardon is, the business is swelling and getting big, and it's either go legit or get too big and be busted. With Mary Spalding, and she's trying to climb the hierarchical ladder there and move from the organized crime unit to CSIS, as are some of her counterparts in CSIS. They're, everybody's on the edge of making it or breaking it somehow. With one of James Reardon's partners, Ronnie Delmonico, who owns this club, the Chickadee, that we're sitting on the roof of right now. He's at the point where, does he sell this old dilapidated building that's been handed down to him through the family, or does he sell out to the block who wants to give him, a whole bunch of money so they can develop the block, or does he keep the history? So all this, sort of personal chaos is happening with a lot of the characters, as well as the business dealings going on. So that it lends to a very slick pace, and I think there's no shortage of corners to be turned story-wise. And we all just have to be kind of ready to jump in any direction. Know who we are, be ready to go. Kind of all have our aspirations. Who knows how they'll turn out, character-wise.
You've been one of the consistently busiest, steadily working Canadian actors. I mean, you started this craft around the age of 11, I understand.
Yeah.
And of course, a great body of work in that time. Does it make you feel rather proud now, as a Canadian, to see the acceptance of DaVinci down south?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, most of our foreign markets end up in Europe, which is good. They have a good appreciation for what we do here, and to be able to break into the American market for any
and for something
for
that
any
plays
country.
so Canadian too.
Yeah, it's played as Canadian. It is what it is. You see what you see, and nothing is masked. And that's just a testament to the clever story crafting. It's very interesting. It's a lot like a British crime drama. You have to pay attention. You have to stay involved. If you watch the odd episode here and there, they hold up on their own. But as a package, as a series of 13 per year, it's very much like a serial, and well worth hanging in there for. And I think that's what they have realized with DaVinci's Across the Borders. It's very engaging, and if you stay with it, the stories just are very engaging, and you kind of they're not as predictable as you might think. Well worth waiting for, and I'm glad the procedural law enforcement procedural shows have been doing so well, over the last few years with what they've been making south of the border, and with what we've been making here, and in Europe, all over the world. It's like it's always been a great genre, cops and robbers, to put it bluntly, and this is just maybe a new look at it. It's something that hasn't been investigated so much from an audience perspective, except short of the mobster movies that we see, and of course The Sopranos. It's intriguing. People want to know about that world a little bit more, I think.
Well, it's again, as I told Chris Haddock, I mean, he's got a great pedigree. He's got a great track record. You certainly have done some great work over the years with DaVinci and your full body work. I'm excited to see Intelligence, and let's hope it has a hell of a good run.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Ian.
Yeah, you bet.
24hours.ca